The morning air was cold, thick with winter frost that clung to street signs, sidewalks, and the threadbare hoodie wrapped around 15-year-old Jaden Brooks. His breath formed small white clouds as he walked, hands shoved tightly into his pockets, trying to keep warm. Jaden hadn't slept properly in days. The shelter he used to stay in had closed 2 weeks ago due to funding cuts, and now he moved from alleyways to park benches to abandoned bus stops, anywhere with a little shade and a little hope. But today wasn't like the others. Today had a purpose. Today was the day his final school test results were being released. Despite being homeless, despite not having new clothes, food, or a stable life, Jaden hadn't missed a single exam. He'd studied under streetlights in library corners, and sometimes in the back of the school gym when teachers weren't watching. He had dreams, big ones. Dreams of becoming an engineer, dreams of changing his life, dreams of proving that struggle didn't define worth. As he approached the tall gates of Lincoln High School, his heart began to race. Not because he was nervous about his results, but because he knew what waited at the front entrance. Security, Mr. Miller, a large man with a cold stare and a deep voice, known for enforcing rules with zero flexibility. He took one look at Jaden from distance and frowned, stepping forward like someone approaching a threat. "Hey," Miller barked. "Where do you think you're going?" Jaden stopped in his tracks, but kept his posture respectful, calm. I go to school here," he replied softly. "I just need to pick up my test results." Miller looked him up and down, his worn shoes, his dirt-stained jeans, the faded hoodie, his tired eyes. Everything about him screamed struggle, and that was enough for Miller to decide. He didn't belong here. "You go here?" Miller scoffed, almost laughing. "Yeah, right." Jaden nodded politely. "Yes, sir. My ID number is—" "I don't care about your number," Miller snapped, stepping closer. "You can't just walk in here looking like—" He gestured at Jaden with disgust. "That." A couple of students walking by slowed down, watching. One of them whispered something that made the others snicker. Jaden felt heat crawl up his neck but stayed calm. "I'm not here to cause trouble," he said quietly. "I just need my results. I'll leave right after." But Miller wasn't listening. Not to his words, not to his tone, not to his dignity. "What you need," Miller said, voice booming, "is to get off this property before I call the police." Jaden blinked. "Call the police? For wanting his grades? But I'm a student," he repeated, voice cracking. Miller rolled his eyes. "Do you see the problem here?" He muttered loudly to nearby parents. "Kids like him think they can wander wherever they want." Jaden took a small step back, not out of fear of the man, but fear of the attention. Students stared. Some laughed. Some filmed. His throat tightened. "I'm not trespassing," Jaden whispered. I just want to see my scores." Miller didn't listen. He grabbed Jaden by the arm, not gently, and dragged him toward the sidewalk. "You don't belong here," he growled through clenched teeth. "People like you shouldn't even be near this school." Jaden stumbled, trying to maintain balance, trying to maintain dignity, but it was impossible. The humiliation was louder than his voice. A girl with braids, Lily, watched from a distance, shocked. Jaden wasn't shouting. Jaden wasn't resisting. Jaden wasn't dangerous. He was hurt and he was silent. When Miller shoved him past the school gate, Jaden staggered but didn't fall. Not physically, but inside, he felt himself collapse. He swallowed hard and finally met Miller's eyes. "You didn't have to do that," Jaden said softly. Not angry, not aggressive, just disappointed. Miller pointed toward the street. "Leave now." For a moment, Jaden just stood there. Then he nodded once, slow, controlled, and turned away. He walked down the sidewalk, fighting the burning behind his eyes. Behind him, laughter echoed. A phone camera pointed. Whispers followed. But one voice, Lily's, cut through everything. "Jaden, wait." He froze. She ran toward him, breathless. "I saw everything," she said. "That wasn't okay." Jaden gave a small, tired smile. "It's fine. I'm used to it." Lily shook her head fiercely. "No, it's not fine." She reached into her bag and pulled out folded paper, white with the school emblem. "I picked mine up early," she said. "Yours should be posted online too." Jaden hesitated, then took the phone she offered. He typed slowly, with shaking hands, entering his student ID. The same one Miller didn't care to check. The loading screen felt endless. Then, the page opened. Lily looked at it first. Her eyes widened. Her mouth opened. Then she covered her face in disbelief. Jaden panicked. "What, is it bad?" She lowered her hands, voice trembling. "No, Jaden, it's not bad." She handed him the phone. Jaden stared, then blinked, then stared again. His heart stopped, then raced. At the top of the screen, in bold letters, "Highest academic score in the entire school." The boy the security guard had thrown out was the smartest student in the building. And soon, the whole school would know. For a long moment, Jaden simply stared at the screen, unmoving, breath stuck in his chest. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel possible. He blinked again to make sure his tired eyes weren't tricking him. But the words didn't change. Highest academic score in the entire school. Below that, another line in bold red letters. Recipient of the National Merit Scholarship. And under that, full university funding eligibility pending confirmation. A tremor passed through him. Not fear, not pain, but something he hadn't felt in a very long time. Hope. Lily watched him closely. "Jaden," she whispered, "you got the highest score in the entire school." "That's insane." Jaden swallowed hard. "No," he said slowly, voice shaking. "That's impossible." But Lily shook her head with a proud smile. "No, that's earned." They stood there in stunned silence when suddenly the school bell rang, releasing waves of students pouring into the courtyard. Conversations buzzed. Phones flashed. Laughter spread. And then someone shouted, "Hey, that's the homeless kid the guard kicked out." Heads turned. Dozens of eyes focused on Jaden again. But this time, someone wasn't laughing. Someone wasn't ignoring. Someone wasn't recording. Someone stepped forward. A tall, sharply dressed woman with glasses and a clipboard tucked under her arm. Dr. Harris, the principal. She walked with firm, focused steps, eyes locked on Jaden. Lily's heart skipped. Jaden backed up instinctively. He was used to adults looking at him with suspicion, not urgency. When the principal reached him, she knelt slightly so she was eye level with him, something no authority figure had ever done. "Jaden Brooks?" she asked gently. He nodded. "Yes, ma'am." She exhaled shakily as if she'd just found something priceless that had been lost. "Congratulations," she said. "We've been searching for you since 7 a.m. The students around froze. Some gasped. Jaden stared, confused. "Searching for me?" Dr. Harris smiled softly. "You didn't just score highest in the school. You scored highest in the entire district, one of the highest scores in the state." A hum spread through the crowd. Jaden felt his throat tighten. "But I'm not even enrolled properly anymore. I don't have a home. I haven't attended regularly." The principal shook her head firmly. "Attendance doesn't erase brilliance." Her voice grew stronger. "And we do not measure a student's worth by how clean their shoes are or how expensive their clothes look." Some students lowered their heads in guilt. At that moment, something shifted. The respect he had been denied earlier, he could feel it start forming around him. Suddenly, another familiar voice approached, the one Jaden dreaded most. Mr. Miller, the security guard, pushed through the crowd. His face was flushed, not from anger, but shock. "What's going on?" he demanded. "Why is everyone—" Then he saw Jaden standing with the principal, and he froze. Dr. Harris turned toward him, expression cold. "Mr. Miller," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "did you remove this student from school grounds earlier?" The courtyard fell silent instantly. Miller cleared his throat. "Yes, ma'am." He looked suspicious. He doesn't usually look like a regular student. Lily spoke before the principal could. "He didn't look suspicious. He looked homeless. And that's why you pushed him away." Jaden flinched, embarrassed, but Lily didn't look away. The principal's expression hardened. "Mr. Miller, your job is to protect students, not judge them." Miller swallowed, suddenly small. "I was just following procedure." "No," Dr. Harris interrupted sharply. "You followed bias." Gasps echoed. Miller opened his mouth, but no excuse came out. The principal turned back to Jaden, her voice soft again. "You should have been welcomed with applause today, not thrown out." Jaden felt the sting behind his eyes again, but this time, not from shame. Dr. Harris placed a hand on his shoulder. "Come with me. There's something waiting for you." They walked together toward the assembly hall, students following behind like witnesses to something important. Inside, staff members sat at tables with folders, certificates, cameras, all set up for the academic awards ceremony. A banner hung above, celebrating excellence, scholarship ceremony. Jaden's breath caught. This event was for him. A teacher stepped forward with a microphone. "Today," she announced, "we honor the top academic scorers of the year." She smiled, eyes warm. "And our highest honor goes to Jaden Brooks." The room erupted with applause. Teachers stood. Students clapped. Some cheered. Jaden walked to the stage slowly, almost in disbelief. When he reached the podium, his hands trembled. The award presenter placed a medal over his neck and handed him an envelope. Inside was a letter. Full scholarship approved, housing included. Jaden inhaled sharply. A home, a chance, a future. He blinked, trying to speak, voice unsteady. I didn't expect this," he began. "Most people see me and think I don't belong anywhere near a school." He paused, eyes flicking toward the crowd. Lily offered a supportive nod. "But I studied anyway, because I believed that one day someone would see past where I live and see who I am." Silence. Then applause, louder than before. And as Jaden stepped down, the person who stopped him wasn't a student. It was Mr. Miller. His eyes were lowered, regret heavy in his posture. "Jaden," he said quietly, "I was wrong." Jaden waited. "I judged you without knowing anything. And I'm sorry." Jaden studied his face, not with anger, but maturity far beyond his age. "It's okay," he said softly. "Just don't treat the next kid like that." Miller nodded, eyes wet. "That's a promise." Jaden walked out of the hall, not the homeless kid who had been pushed away earlier, but someone seen, valued, respected. And tomorrow, something even bigger was waiting. Something that would change not only his life, but the entire school. The following morning, Lincoln High School felt different. It wasn't the building or the classrooms or the lockers. It was the energy. Whispers traveled through the hallways. Students who once stared at Jaden with judgment now looked, for him with curiosity, some with guilt, some with admiration. His name wasn't a rumor anymore. It was a headline. Teachers printed out his results and pinned them on bulletin boards. Highest score in school history. State-level scholarship winner. Our full academic funding and housing. Beside it hung a photo of Jaden receiving his medal, his face shocked, emotional, humbled. The same students who mocked his clothing yesterday now stood in front of that poster silently, reading every word. Jaden arrived late, walking cautiously through the gates, expecting another confrontation. But this time, no one stopped him. Instead, two younger students rushed up to him. "Are you Jaden Brooks?" Jaden hesitated. "Yeah." They smiled shyly. "You're amazing," one of them said. "I want to be smart like you." Before Jaden could respond, more students approached. "Hey man, congrats. You earned that. You're inspiring, seriously." Jaden blinked, unsure how to react. He wasn't used to kindness, and especially from strangers. Then Lily appeared beside him, grinning. "Looks like the whole school knows now." He rubbed the back of his neck awkwardly. "I didn't want attention." Lily shook her head. "You didn't ask for attention. You earned respect." Soon the school speaker system crackled. "Attention, everyone. Please report to the auditorium. Assembly begins in 5 minutes." Students exchanged glances. Another assembly? 2 in 2 days? Something was happening. Jaden felt the nerves rise in his chest. Lily touched his arm. "Come on, this one's about you." The auditorium was full. Students sat in rows. Teachers lined the walls. And Dr. Harris stood on stage with a microphone. Beside her stood someone no one expected. Mr. Miller, the same guard who threw Jaden out. The same guard who had judged him. Jaden froze. Dr. Harris spoke first. "Yesterday, something happened that made us rethink what kind of community we are." She looked around the room, not angry, but proud. "We learned that brilliance doesn't always come wrapped in perfect clothes or perfect circumstances." Several students lowered their eyes. "We learned that struggle doesn't erase ability, and appearance doesn't determine value." Then she gestured to Mr. Miller. "He has something he would like to say." The auditorium held its breath. Mr. Miller glanced at Jaden, then at 1,000 watching faces. "I thought my job was to protect the school. he said slowly. But yesterday, I protected the wrong thing, he swallowed. I protected judgment, stereotypes, assumptions. The silence was deep. I saw a boy who didn't look like he belonged, when the truth was, I didn't deserve to stand at the same doorway as him. Some students murmured, shocked. Miller continued, voice cracking. Jaden, I am deeply sorry. I treated you like a problem instead of a student. And worse, instead of a human being. Jaden's chest tightened. For a man like Miller, proud, stern, stubborn, these words weren't easy. Dr. Harris stepped forward again. This school will no longer tolerate discrimination. Not from students, not from staff, not from anyone. The room erupted into applause, loud, unified, echoing. Jaden wasn't invisible anymore, and the honor that changed everything. Dr. Harris raised her hand for silence. And now, she said with a warm smile, we present a new annual award, one inspired by strength, resilience, and determination. She held up a golden plaque. The Jaden Brooks Award for Academic Excellence and Perseverance. Jaden's breath hitched. The audience stood, clapping, cheering, crying. Students chanted his name. Teachers wiped their eyes. Even Miller clapped hardest. Lily whispered, "You deserve this." Dr. Harris approached Jaden, placing the award in his hands. "You are proof," she said softly, "that potential does not disappear. It just waits to be seen." Tears finally escaped Jaden's eyes. For the first time in years, they weren't from pain. They were from validation, hope, pride, a future no one could take away. After the assembly, the superintendent and two scholarship representatives met Jaden privately. One smiled. "Jaden, based on your scores and circumstances, we would like to offer you something additional." Jaden blinked. "Additional?" The director nodded. "A safe apartment, starting immediately, fully funded." Jaden froze. No more street benches, no more shelters, a real home. His lips trembled. "A home?" The woman nodded. "Yes, you deserve safety while you study." Jaden covered his face as tears streamed down. Lily hugged him. Dr. Harris rested a comforting hand on his back. For the first time in his life, he didn't feel temporary. He felt like he belonged. As he left the school building, the winter sun warmed his face. And for the first time, the cold didn't feel so heavy. He looked up, sky-wide, bright, full of possibility, and whispered, "Mom, I made it." Somewhere inside him, he felt her smile. He wasn't the homeless boy anymore. He wasn't the forgotten student. He wasn't the kid pushed out by a guard. He was Jaden Brooks, scholarship recipient, record-breaking student, survivor, and the boy no one would ever overlook again. His past didn't define him. His potential did. And this time, the world finally saw it.